High Overseer Thilara Valsaren stood motionless before the quantum observation array, her crystalline form refracting the soft blue light of the holographic displays. The massive chamber, heart of the Meridian Alliance's most advanced research facility, hummed with the gentle resonance of countless sensors probing the galaxy's mysteries. "Confirm the readings," she commanded, her harmonically modulated voice betraying none of the disturbance she felt. "Show me the temporal comparison again." The array shifted, displaying two identical energy signatures separated by centuries. The first, recorded by an automated probe near the edges of Alliance space 300 years ago. The second, captured just hours before, emanating from a supposedly primitive world called Earth. Senior analyst Kexray manipulated the controls with his four upper appendages, his lower ones maintaining perfect balance as he moved. "The correlation is absolute, Overseer. The humans have been watching us. Not just watching. They've had quantum observation capabilities comparable to our most advanced systems for at least 3 centuries. Thilara's crystalline structure pulsed with deep violet hues, a sign of intense concentration among her species. Yet they maintain the appearance of a pre-FTL civilization. Their visible technology is crude. Their ships barely manage interplanetary travel within their own system. A masterful deception." Kexray chittered softly. "We'd found evidence of sophisticated cloaking fields throughout their system. What we see of their civilization is carefully curated, a screen behind which they've built something far more advanced." The displays shifted again, showing the Earth system. Seemingly primitive satellites orbited their world. Chemical rockets occasionally launched new ones, and their space stations were basic constructions of metal and glass. But now, with the Alliance's newest sensors calibrated to detect quantum signatures, a very different picture emerged. Vast networks of nearly undetectable quantum sensors threaded through their entire system. Their asteroid belt housed enormous facilities, completely hidden from conventional detection. And most disturbing of all, their planet itself radiated patterns that suggested technologies the Alliance had never even conceived of. "They've been studying us," Thilara stated, her tone flat. "Learning our capabilities, our weaknesses, our strengths, all while presenting themselves as barely worth noting." She turned to face the analysis team. "The question is, why? Why maintain this deception for so long?" A junior analyst, Vren, spoke up from his station. "Overseer, we've been analyzing their information networks, what they allow to be visible. At least, they have a curious abundance of speculative fiction about first contact scenarios. Many of them end poorly for humanity. They fear us." Thilara's crystalline form flickered with amber light. Amusement. "No, Overseer," Kexray interrupted. "They're prepared for us. Every piece of technology they've allowed us to see, every transmission we've intercepted, every aspect of their visible civilization, it's all carefully designed to make us underestimate them. They've been ready for first contact for centuries. They've just been waiting to see what kind of neighbors they have." The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. The Alliance had discovered dozens of pre-FTL civilizations over the millennia, guided their development, eventually welcomed them into the galactic community, but they had never encountered one that had not only detected them first, but had spent centuries secretly studying them. "New data incoming," Vren announced suddenly. "Quantum fluctuations detected throughout the Earth system. They're dropping their camouflage." The displays erupted with new information as humanity's hidden infrastructure revealed itself. Massive structures emerged from behind quantum veils. Their asteroid belt transformed from a scattered field of rocks into a vast industrial complex, and in high orbit around Earth, a station larger than any the Alliance had ever built shimmered into view. "They know we've detected them," Thilara stated. "They're done hiding." Her form pulsed with deep blue light. "Determination. Send word to the High Council. We need to." She was interrupted by a transmission that simultaneously appeared on every display in the facility. The image showed a human, unremarkable in appearance, seated at what appeared to be a simple desk. Behind them, a window looked out on Earth's blue-white surface. "Greetings, Meridian Alliance," the human said, speaking perfect standard Alliance language. "We apologize for the deception, but we needed to understand you before we revealed ourselves. Now that you've detected our quantum observation network, we believe it's time for proper introductions." The human smiled, an expression Thalara had studied but never quite understood. "We look forward to learning about each other openly. Though I suspect you may have some questions about how we achieved our current level of technology without your guidance." The transmission ended, leaving the chamber in stunned silence. Thalara's crystalline form cycled through a rainbow of colors before settling on a deep, thoughtful purple. The Alliance had always seen itself as a benevolent guide to developing civilizations, but now they faced something unprecedented, a species that had quietly advanced beyond their understanding while maintaining the perfect illusion of primitivity. "Send my response," Thalara commanded. "Tell them." She paused, her form flickering with uncertainty for the first time in decades. "Tell them we have much to discuss." The Meridian Alliance's High Council chamber hadn't seen such chaos in over a millennium. Representatives of 300 species argued in a cacophony of voices, wavelengths, and quantum resonances. At the center of the vast amphitheater, a holographic representation of Earth rotated slowly, its newly revealed quantum infrastructure glowing like a complex web of light. Supreme Counselor Zixvan, their crystalline form towering over the other representatives, raised all 6 appendages for silence. The chamber's acoustic dampeners engage, forcing quiet upon the assembly. "The humans have responded to our request for technological exchange," Zixvan announced, their form shifting through shades of deep blue. "They have declined." Fresh chaos erupted until the dampeners engaged again. A Varaxian representative, their plasma-contained form pulsing with agitation, spoke first. "This is unprecedented. No emerging civilization has ever rejected Alliance guidance. The protocols are clear. They must be contained until we can assess the danger they represent." The hologram of Earth disappeared, replaced by tactical displays showing the Alliance's 7th Fleet moving into position at the edge of the Sol system. 40,000 ships, the largest force assembled in recent memory, prepared to establish a containment perimeter. High Admiral Corax, a member of the silicon-based Nexari, stepped forward. "The fleet is in position. We've detected no attempt by the humans to interfere with our movements. Their system appears unchanged since they revealed themselves 3 days ago. Perhaps they recognize the futility of resistance," the Varaxian representative suggested, their plasma form brightening with satisfaction. The tactical display suddenly flickered. Admiral Corax's crystalline eyes widened. "That's impossible. We're detecting quantum fluctuations throughout the fleet, some kind of." The display erupted with new information. Where moments before 40,000 Alliance ships had been preparing for containment operations, now they drifted powerless, their quantum cores completely dormant. No distress signals, no communications, no power emissions at all. "Report," Zixvan demanded, their crystalline form pulsing with alarming colors. A junior tactical officer's voice filled the chamber. "The entire fleet. They just stopped, Counselor. Some kind of quantum cascade effect. Every ship's power systems simultaneously deactivated. Life support is running on chemical backups, but everything else is just dead." As the Council struggled to comprehend this development, a transmission cut through their secure channels with trivial ease. The same human from the first contact appeared, still seated at that simple desk, still wearing that enigmatic smile. "Honorable members of the High Council," the human began, "we understand your concerns. However, we feel it necessary to demonstrate why containment would be inadvisable." Their expression grew serious. "Your fleet is unharmed. Their quantum cores have been temporarily suppressed using technology we developed centuries ago. Power will be restored in exactly 1 hour. The human leaned forward slightly. We've spent 300 years studying your civilization, council members. We've seen your achievements, your dedication to order and progress. We've also seen how you handle civilizations that don't fit your carefully structured protocols. The quarantines, the guided development programs, the subtle but firm pressure to conform to Alliance standards. They gestured, and the tactical display split, showing thousands of locations throughout Alliance space. We maintain quantum observation posts throughout your territory. Not for aggression, merely to understand. We know the location of every fleet, every facility, every hidden installation. We could have revealed ourselves at any time, but we chose to wait, to learn, to be certain of your character. The human's expression softened slightly. We hold no ill will toward the Alliance. We believe cooperation between our civilizations could benefit everyone. But it must be cooperation between equals, not the relationship between guide and supplicant that you are accustomed to. The choice is yours. The transmission ended. The council chamber remained silent, its members watching the tactical display where 40,000 of their most advanced ships hung powerless in space, disabled without a single shot fired. Finally, Zix Vaughn spoke. It seems, my fellow council members, that we face a unique situation. The humans have not only surpassed our technological level in several key areas, but they've done so in ways we never imagined possible. They do not need our guidance. Perhaps their crystalline form shifted to thoughtful purple. Perhaps we need theirs. Unacceptable. The Varaxian representative flared. If they can disable our ships so easily, they represent an existential threat to the Alliance. We must. Must what? Admiral Korax interrupted, their silicon form vibrating with intensity. Launch another fleet for them to disable. Deploy weapons they've had centuries to prepare for. They could have destroyed our ships instead of simply disabling them. They could have revealed themselves at any time in the past 300 years, likely with devastating effect. Instead, they waited, watched, learned about us. And when finally discovered, their first action was a bloodless demonstration meant to prevent conflict. The tactical display updated as quantum power signatures began returning to the fleet, exactly 1 hour after they were suppressed. Every ship restored to full functionality, their crews shaken but unharmed. We have always seen ourselves as the guides of younger civilizations, Zix Vaughn observed. Perhaps it is time to remember what it feels like to be the students again. Their form shifted to resolution green. I move that we accept the humans' terms, not as superiors to guide them, but as equals to learn from them. The council chamber erupted in argument once more, but the decision was already becoming clear. The Alliance had always prided itself on identifying potential in young civilizations. Now they faced a species that had hidden its true potential for centuries, advancing along paths the Alliance had never even considered. As the Council debated, quantum sensors throughout Alliance space detected subtle changes in the human observation posts. They weren't being removed, merely shifted to operate more openly. A reminder, perhaps, that humanity's eyes remained on them, waiting to see what kind of neighbors they would choose to be. The human facility on Mars defied Alliance architectural conventions in every possible way. Instead of the soaring crystalline spires or geometric precision common to advanced civilizations, the diplomatic complex seemed to grow from the red soil itself, organic curves blending seamlessly with the landscape. More striking was its construction. It had assembled itself from raw materials over the course of just 3 days, molecular machines converting Martian regolith into sophisticated structures that somehow felt both alien and natural. Ambassador Lyra Envex, the Alliance's foremost sinological expert, watched through compound eyes as her delegation's shuttle approached the facility. Her iridescent wings, usually kept folded tight against protocol, trembled with barely contained excitement. Remarkable, she whispered, mandibles clicking softly. They don't just build technology, they grow it. Her aide, a young Nexari named Seren, nodded his crystalline head. The structural analysis teams are baffled. The entire facility operates as a single organic-synthetic hybrid. Even our most advanced biotechnology requires distinct mechanical components. The shuttle landed without a sound on a pad that seemed to ripple slightly beneath them, absorbing all kinetic energy. As they disembarked, Lyra noticed how the very air around them felt different, charged with potential, as if reality itself was slightly more malleable here. Their human host waited at the entrance. Dr. Sarah Chen, the same person who had delivered humanity's earlier messages, smiled warmly. "Welcome to New Horizon Facility," she said, gesturing toward the entrance. "We thought it best to create a space specifically for our first real exchange of knowledge." As they walked through corridors that seemed to breathe, Lyra's scientific curiosity overwhelmed her diplomatic restraint. "Dr. Chen, I must ask, how did humanity develop such advanced biotechnology without passing through the standard technological progression we've observed in every other species?" Sarah's smile took on an enigmatic quality. "That's actually a perfect lead-in to what we wanted to discuss today." She led them into a vast chamber whose walls displayed real-time quantum interactions at the subatomic level. "You see, we didn't develop biotechnology and then quantum technology as separate disciplines. We discovered something early in our development that changed everything. Consciousness affects quantum states." The Alliance delegation stopped in their tracks. Saren's crystalline form flickered with confusion. "But that's impossible. Quantum mechanics operates independently of observer consciousness. That's been proven countless times." "By mechanical observers, yes," Sarah agreed. "But human consciousness, and we suspect the consciousness of all sentient beings, interacts with quantum fields in ways your instruments can't detect. We call it the quantum consciousness effect. It's why our technology appears to grow, to live. We're not just building machines, we're growing new forms of consciousness." Lyra's wings spread fully, protocol forgotten in her shock. "Are you saying your entire civilization is based on technology that's partially conscious?" "In a way." Sarah gestured, and the chamber transformed around them, becoming what appeared to be an infinite field of stars. "But it's more than that. We discovered that consciousness itself has quantum properties. The universe isn't just affected by observers, it's made of them. Everything is, at some level, aware." The display zoomed in on what appeared to be empty space, revealing complex quantum networks connecting seemingly unrelated particles. This discovery led us down a very different technological path than the Alliance. Instead of building increasingly complex machines, we learned to grow new forms of consciousness, to shape quantum fields with our minds, to create technology that isn't just used, but communed with. Saren's crystalline form had shifted to a deep blue of intense concentration. "The quantum cascade effect that disabled our fleet. You didn't use a weapon. You communicated with our quantum cores directly." "Yes." Sarah nodded. "We asked them to rest, and they did. No force required." She paused, her expression growing serious. "But this isn't just about showing you what we can do. We revealed ourselves now for a reason. We've detected something in deep space, something that's been hidden even from our quantum observation network until recently." The starfield display shifted, focusing on a region of space far beyond Alliance territory. At first, it appeared empty, but as they watched, complex patterns began to emerge. Quantum disturbances unlike anything Lyra had ever seen. 3 months ago, our deep space observers noticed these anomalies, Sarah explained. "They're subtle, but they're growing. Whatever's causing them appears to be moving, spreading, and it's definitely not natural." Lyra felt her wings draw close to her body instinctively. "You believe it's artificial. Another civilization." "We believe it's ancient," Sarah replied. "Older than humanity, older than the Alliance, and based on the quantum patterns we're detecting." She hesitated. "We believe it's aware, conscious, but not like anything we've encountered before. Its quantum signature suggests a consciousness utterly alien to organic life." The display zoomed in further, revealing microscopic disturbances in space-time itself. Tears in reality that should have been impossible. This is why we chose to reveal ourselves now. Sarah continued. Humanity has advanced technology, yes, but we've never encountered anything like this. The Alliance has knowledge spanning thousands of species and millions of years. We need to work together to understand what's coming. Lyra looked at the human with new understanding. You didn't reveal yourselves because we detected you. You revealed yourselves because you needed us. Sarah nodded slowly. We've learned a lot watching the Alliance, Ambassador. You've unified hundreds of species, maintained peace across thousands of light years. Humanity has power, but the Alliance has experience. What's coming? We think we'll need both. The chamber returned to its original state, but Lyra couldn't shake the image of those quantum disturbances, those tiny tears in space-time growing larger, spreading like cracks in reality itself. The Alliance and humanity had just begun to understand each other, but it seemed the universe had plans that wouldn't wait for diplomatic niceties. Tell us everything you know about these anomalies, Lyra said, her diplomatic tone replaced by one of urgent purpose. Whatever's coming, we'll face it together. The research vessel Quantum Seeker drifted at the edge of known space, its hybrid human Alliance design reflecting the rushed collaboration of the past 3 months. Crystalline sensors adopted from Alliance technology merged with human quantum consciousness interfaces, creating something entirely new, much like the crew itself. Dr. Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck, her hand resting on a living console that pulsed gently beneath her touch. Beside her, Ambassador Lyra's wings shimmered with nervous energy as they watched the quantum distortions grow stronger on their displays. The tiers are expanding exponentially, Sarah noted, her voice tight. What used to take weeks now happens in hours. The ship's Alliance quantum core hummed in harmony with its human consciousness components, creating a symphony of technology that would have been impossible just months ago. Their combined sensors reached deeper into space than either civilization had managed alone, probing the growing anomaly. Energy signature detected, announced Saren from his crystalline interface station. I've never seen anything like this. The quantum field is being actively reshaped. The void before them seemed to fold, space itself crumpling like paper. Through the tear emerged something that defied comprehension, a structure that seemed to exist in more dimensions than their sensors could process. It moved with purpose, its surface rippling with patterns that hurt to look at directly. By the first light, Lyra whispered, her wings pulling tight against her body. What is that? The answer came not in words, but in a wave of quantum interference that washed over the ship. Every conscious technology on board, from the simplest human quantum circuits to the most advanced Alliance AI, resonated with a single, overwhelming presence. We are ETAT architects. The message wasn't spoken or transmitted. It simply existed in their minds, as if it had always been there. Sarah steadied herself against the console, feeling the ship's hybrid systems straining to maintain cohesion under the entity's overwhelming quantum presence. UAVACH IDVDBMERGR of CONSIOUSNESS and QUANTUM mechanics. You are ready for evaluation. Evaluation. Sarah managed to ask, her voice steady despite the pressure building in her mind. We don't understand. The entity's response came in waves of quantum information that the ship's systems struggled to translate. Images flooded their minds. Civilizations rising and falling across billions of years, each one discovering the connection between consciousness and quantum mechanics, each one facing this same moment. We are EQUS to of evolution. When organic life, HEVs QUANTUM QONCIOUSNES, we test their war if AIDS to join the UNIVR Sold network. Saren's crystalline form flickered with alarm. Our long-range sensors are detecting similar quantum tiers opening across Alliance space. Dozens of these. architects are emerging. The test begins now. The entity pulsed, and reality rippled. Every quantum-based technology on the ship began to fail as space itself seemed to twist around them. But something unexpected happened. The human quantum consciousness interfaces didn't just resist. They adapted. Sarah felt it through her connection to the ship's systems. The human components weren't fighting the quantum distortions. They were learning from them, growing, changing. And the Alliance technology, bound to the human systems through their hybrid design, began to change too. The ship, Lyra observed in wonder, it's evolving. Sarah nodded, understanding flooding through her quantum link with the vessel. That's what makes us different. All those civilizations they tested before, they built their quantum technology. We grew ours. It's alive, conscious, capable of evolution. The architect's presence shifted, its quantum signature displaying what might have been surprise. Unexpected, organic and scientific. Evolution combined. Two civilizations, MERGD. This is nullity OCCURRED favor. More images filled their minds. The previous civilizations that had faced this test, each trying to resist the architect's power alone. Each failing. But humanity hadn't faced this challenge alone. They had joined with the Alliance, combining their strengths in ways that created something entirely new. The ship's hybrid systems stabilized, finding a new equilibrium that shouldn't have been possible. Human quantum consciousness technology merged with Alliance engineering at an unprecedented rate, adapting to the architect's influence rather than resisting it. We're not just surviving their test, Sarah realized. We're learning from it, growing from it. She turned to Lyra. This is why we needed each other, not just to face this threat, but to transcend it. The architect's quantum signature pulsed with what their sensors interpreted as intense interest. The test, CONTINUEs, all ALINC space, will be subjected to our INFLUENC. Survive. Adapt. Prove your worth. The entity began to withdraw, its impossible structure folding back through dimensions their minds couldn't process. But before it vanished completely, one final message resonated through their consciousness. You are the first to show true potential. Do not disappoint us. As the quantum tear sealed itself, Sarah and Lyra shared a look of understanding. The real test was just beginning. Across Alliance space, more architects were emerging, subjecting every world, every station, every ship to their reality-warping influence. But for the first time in their long history of testing civilizations, they had encountered something new. Two civilizations that had joined together, combining the wisdom of age with the adaptability of youth. Send word to Earth and the Alliance Council, Sarah commanded. Tell them evolution isn't just a biological process anymore. It's gone quantum. 3 weeks after first contact with the architects, the combined fleets of humanity and the Alliance gathered at the edge of the Sol system. The scene would have been incomprehensible just months ago. Human quantum ships merging seamlessly with Alliance vessels, their technologies evolving together in real time as they adapted to the architect's influence. From the bridge of the flagship Evolution's Dream, Sarah Chen watched the quantum tears spreading across space like cracks in glass. Beside her, Admiral Corax's crystalline form shimmered with determination as they coordinated the largest fleet ever assembled. Status report, Sarah commanded, her voice carrying through both traditional communications and quantum links. The architects have subjected 30% of Alliance space to their quantum interference, reported Lyra, her wings now incorporated into an advanced interface suit that merged Alliance and human technology. Conventional systems are failing across all affected regions, but the hybrid technologies we've developed are holding. They're not just surviving, they're evolving. The main display showed their greatest achievement, a real-time map of consciousness itself spreading across space. Every ship in their fleet now carried the revolutionary combination of human quantum consciousness technology and Alliance engineering. More importantly, they were all connected, forming a vast network of hybrid awareness. "They're gathering," Saren announced, his crystalline form pulsing with sensor data, multiple quantum tiers forming. "This is larger than anything we've detected before." Space fractured before them, and the architects emerged, not one or two, but hundreds of their reality-bending forms moving in perfect synchronization. Their quantum signature had changed, growing stronger, more complex. UAVEED expectations. The message resonated through every conscious system in the fleet, but this time they were ready for it. The hybrid network absorbed the quantum interference, adapted to it, grew stronger from it. "We understand now," Sarah transmitted back, both through conventional means and quantum resonance. "You're not just testing us. You're pushing us to evolve." "Correct. For billions of years, we have guided the evolution toward CIOs QNTM CIOs as THE next step. Few achieve it, fewer survive our test. None have evolved as you have." Admiral Korak stepped forward, his crystalline form synchronizing with the quantum field. "Because none of them worked together. Every civilization you tested faced you alone." Images flooded the fleet's collective consciousness, countless civilizations discovering quantum consciousness, each believing they had reached the pinnacle of evolution. Each facing the architect's test in isolation. Each failing to adapt quickly enough. "But we're different," Sarah continued. "Humanity had the innovation, the ability to grow conscious technology. The Alliance had the experience, the understanding of how to unite different species toward a common goal. Apart, neither of us would have survived your test. Together," she gestured, and the hybrid fleet moved as one organism, their combined quantum field matching, and then exceeding the architect's own resonance. Space itself seemed to hold its breath as organic life, artificial intelligence, and quantum consciousness merged into something entirely new. "Yes, you have the truth. Conceotus as neases, as not meant to evolve in isolation. The next step requires unity." The architect's forms began to shift, revealing more of their true nature. They weren't simply testing civilizations. They were preparing them. Each quantum tear they created, each reality warping pulse they emitted, was designed to force adaptation or cause failure. "The universal network you mentioned," Lyra realized, her wings vibrating with sudden understanding. "It's not just a collection of advanced civilizations, is it? It's the next stage of cosmic evolution." "Correct. The universe ATCTLF is CO and CIOs. All life is connected through QUA and TUM fields. Advanced civilizations must learn to access this network to be part of TKK greater CONSIOUS SNESS. But first, they must evolve beyond their limitations." Sarah felt it through her connection to the hybrid network. The architects weren't invaders or destroyers. They were gardeners, cultivating consciousness itself across the cosmos. And now, for the first time, they had found a civilization that didn't just survive their cultivation, but thrived on it. The quantum tiers began to seal themselves, the reality warping effects fading. But the changes they had caused, the evolution they had sparked, remained. Throughout Alliance space, hybrid technologies continued to grow and adapt. The merger of human quantum consciousness with Alliance engineering had created something self-sustaining, something that would continue to evolve. "The test is complete. You have not memi or Eli survived. You have TRANCT indeed. The Yumai Versal, Nini to Yorke a waities. Wait, Sarah called out as the architects began to withdraw. What happens now? What do we do with this evolution you've sparked? The answer came not in words or quantum resonance, but in pure understanding. They were free to choose their own path. The architects had merely opened the door. How humanity and the Alliance stepped through it was up to them. As the last quantum tiers sealed themselves, Sarah turned to her hybrid crew, human, Alliance, and the new synthetic consciousness they had created together. So, she smiled, shall we see what's on the other side of evolution? The fleet moved forward as one, their combined consciousness reaching out to touch the quantum fields that connected all things. They had passed the test not by conquering or resisting, but by doing what life does best: adapting, growing, and most importantly, working together. The universe, they had learned, was not a battlefield for survival, but a garden of consciousness waiting to bloom. And they had just become its newest gardeners.